We hope you enjoyed the trailer. We really enjoyed working on the game. So for the rest of this video, we'll be going through the changes and assets that we've made and that you got a glimpse of in the trailer. But before we go to new features, we want to go over some changes to already existing features. So firstly, we have rope physics now when you let go of the rope. Secondly, we wrote NPC dialogue for the first town, so there's actual UI and animations and all NPCs can be interacted with. So thirdly, we also implemented shaders and particles on trees, explosions, portals, leaves, sunlight, and many more stuff. So for new things that we added since Milestone 2, we now have a functioning tutorial with a story. This will be the first scene that the player will experience. There are a total of 4 separate NPC interactions in this map. Right now, the main character had been climbing up the mountain by herself without a weapon. So there's this witch lady which finds her and tries to help her. At this point, the player can't attack and can only do basic movement. So we eventually reach the witch's house. Here, the main character receives her first weapon. Now, she can attack, throw her pole, and teleport to it. The witch then notices a flash, and we see her fly away to investigate, so the player decides to follow her, but meets some obstacles along the way. So this is the first obstacle, and it's next to a functioning save point. The player has 50 health, and touching the vines will damage her by 10, and teleport her back to the nearest save point. Then, the player goes through a few more places and fights some enemies to find the witch. This is our redesigned basic mob, so it sleeps at first, but wakes up as soon as you attack it. It bounces at you and tries to eat you. So when you attack and kill it, there are some hit effects on screen. There's some screen shake, screen freeze, and some dust trails to add some more juice when you're killing it. So that's a summary of the playable game so far. Now we'll be going through some features that we haven't quite integrated yet, but have made. In this scene, we just found a witch, and she's a bit mad that someone used her cannon, and sets you on a quest to find a person with her. So this is supposed to be the part where you get cannoned all the way to the first town, but we haven't implemented it yet. This is a night version of the first town, so we slapped some normal maps to some of the sprites. For example, this vase, you can see that moving around it projects light that suggests it actually has a form, even though it's a 2D sprite. These rocks as well, you can see the top is only lit up from the lamp above. This is the teleporter, which teleports the player to different places in the world.
In this milestone, we've redesigned various features in order to make the game look more appealing to players. For example, in the main menu, we've used an animated background in order to make the introduction look more lively for the players. Moreover, we've redesigned the buttons in order to enhance their responsiveness to the player's actions, such as the use of sliders in order to indicate the current option the mouse is pointing at. Moreover, we've also used varying transition effects as well as a tune in order to indicate that the button has been pressed. In the inventory, along with redesigning its layout, we also added an additional feature where we compare the effects of equipping various items. We decided to use such an illustration so as to allow the player to identify which item he will need. Finally, we've introduced a new feature known as the controls. Through this feature, players can customize the controls of the player as well as other features based on their own preferences. If a key has been binded to another control, both controls will perform a swap on their respective key bindings. These controls will also be updated in the user data, allowing the user to export the same preferences along with his data over, which gives him an extra level of convenience since he only has to load that exact file into another device to load the same controls that he had initially configured in his old device. Thank you.
To wrap it up, we hope you had fun watching us make our game. This is quite an enjoyable experience for us, and for the future of the game, we might work on it a bit more when we have more time.